Welcome to the Shaman's View. I'm Alberto Villoldo, and today I have the Shaman's Oracle. That was one of the cards that I drew for today's talk from the perspective of the invisible world. So for millennia, shamans have been engaged in not only foretelling the future, these were the great prophets of old, but being able to select desirable futures for the health of one of their patients, for one of their children, or for the health of the village, or for the destiny of their people. We're all concerned about the health and the well-being of our loved ones, and we try to prepare for that financially and by sending them to the good schools as best that we can, and by educating the children well. But the shamans were concerned with the destiny lines that we bring with us from former lifetimes, and that are really guided and steered by many of the events that happened to us in early life. So to participate in the process of selecting destiny, they consulted the oracle. And they understood that if you don't select destiny, that you fall back onto the grip of fate. And fate is fatal, it's deadly. It's been preordained. It's been pre-selected for us by our genetics, or by the drama that runs in our family, or by the experiences that we had in early childhood, or even when we were inside our mother's womb, the conversations that we overheard, or if she felt that she could not trust her partner, her man, to be there for her, we were born with these belief structures that we cannot trust men, or we cannot trust other people. So how do we break out of that grip of fate that has been selected for us? And that in the West, at least in the health care systems in the West, is what we call statistics, that say that 29% of the population will die from this, and 32% from that, and that if you get to be 85 years old, then you will have a 50% risk of having diagnosable Alzheimer's. Wow, we don't want to be in that bell curve. And we think, well, this is not going to happen to me. I'm going to take the precautions that I need to take. I'm going to eat well and drink clean water. But above and beyond that, what the shaman wanted to do was to consult destiny and help steer destiny. And to do that, they used the oracle. And there are many different oracles. You find that in some cultures, there's a stone oracle. In Africa, they have the cowrie shells. The bones are used in Europe. In the northern parts of Europe, you have the Viking runes. But in the Americas, they worked with the divine forces, that they could see operating around them, and consulted them to understand how they were operating inside your life. How wind and earth and water and the different deities were working within you, and how they were preordaining your future, how your future had been selected for you already, and you were simply filling in the blanks. So the card that I pulled up in preparation for our class was this one, the Smoky Mirror. The Smoky Mirror actually was a god in Mesoamerica, the Smoky Mirror god. We have him here in our deck, in the mystical shaman deck, portrayed as a Buddha-like being, because it's really more contemporary. But the Smoky Mirror god was known as Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca would come to you and hold the mirror to your face and say, look at you. Look at what you have become. Look at what you've turned into. Look at the real you, not that carefully sculpted persona that we keep by the door and we put on in the morning. But look at you. And how much congruence is there between who you say you are and who you really are? That was the Smoky Mirror god. And the Smoky Mirror was designed to wake you up. Go, wow, my God, look at me. Look at what I've turned into. How do I correct? How do I return to my true nature? How do I laugh and love and become innocent again? So I want to draw another card for us from the Mystical Shaman's Oracle. This is a deck that my wife Marcela and I, together with Colette Baron-Reid, published about 1.5 years ago, and that works with the archetypes of the Americas, not with the Greek gods or the Roman gods, which is what the tarot of Marseille and of Europe works with, but with the Americans, with the forces of the indigenous people. So let me consult it, and I'm going to do a very simple one-card draw to see what it is that we get. And there are many, many different kinds of readings that you can do, but in this case, we're only going to select one card to see what topic we should speak about, to see what topic we should cover when we're talking about the oracle. All right, and here is the card of thunder. We spoke about how the forces of nature are influencing us, and the shaman's archetypes are before we turn these forces into human-like creatures, before we personify them, before we anthropomorphize them, before we turn God into a man and with a white beard in the heavens, when he was simply the forces of the cosmos. So the thunder is the force of renewal, is the force that strikes from the heavens and shakes the earth to wake us up and to say, hey, come to your senses. Come, look at you. Come. We've already discovered that we need to change. The first card told us that we needed to reveal our authentic face. And now we have the card of thunder that's saying, come out of the closet, show who you are, don't be afraid. Don't be timid, don't do it with a soft, gentle breeze. Come with the power of thunder. So let's take a different read, and I'm going to show you how to do a 3-card read. In a 3-card read, I'm going to show you how to do a 3-card read that takes basically into account the past, the present, and the future. So we'll select one card, and now we'll pick another one. And now let's go back and let's pick about this one here. All right, and let's turn them over. So the first one is the giveaway, and the next one is the water, the force of water, of cleansing and healing and renewal. And the third is the coyote, the trickster. So beginning with, come back here, come on. Beginning with the giveaway. The giveaway is a traditional Native American festival or celebration where you offered, you gave, you shared. You share the spoils of the hunt, you share your produce, because wealth in traditional societies is measured by how much you give away, not how much you hoard or how much you have in the bank or how much you own, but how much you share. So this is the very first card, and this is indicating the influences from the past. What is it that's at play from the past that we need to attend to, but that we have perhaps come to closure with, but that is influencing still in the moment? We're giving away, and perhaps it might mean that you're giving away too much at this time. But we'll see in the context of the present what it says. And this is the card that speaks about the present. So we came from the giveaway, from sharing deeply, to the card of water. And water is about cleansing, about healing. That now is the time to regain our integrity in this bubble of water, of translucence, of healing, of deep, deep cleansing. The waters that cleanse the soul, not only the ones that cleanse the body. And each one of the cards, of course, we've written up a paragraph describing them and what message they have for each one of us right now. So the first card, the influences from the past, the present, which is the card of water, of cleansing, purification, and is also the feminine, because the feminine arises from the waters. So this is a bubble of water that is emerging, that is about to be bestowed upon us and cleanses and purifies. It's a time of cleansing. It's not a time of giving. It's not a time of taking. It's not a time of sharing what you know or what you don't know, but it's a time to go deep into your cleansing, into your cleansing process. And let's see what the third card is. And the third one is the Coyote. I love this card. This is great medicine. The Coyote is the trickster. This is what lies ahead. This is what lies ahead. The Coyote comes to reveal that which is hidden. And part of what I see in this card is a mandate to reveal that which is hidden, that nobody else sees. Everybody is concerned right now about what's going to happen tomorrow, including ourselves. What's going to happen in our lives the day after tomorrow, or next month, or next year? The trickster is saying, hey, don't look at it the same way everybody else is looking at it. Look at what's out there and think something different about it. Feel something different about it. Let that cleansing effect of the waters wash away all of your doubt, all of your preoccupation, all of your concern, so that you can literally trick yourself into discovering a new perspective of the possible. This is a medicine Coyote. Notice how she has the emblem of the sun hanging from one ear. So this card is bringing us a message of that, the trickster is the one that shows you the same way that the mirror was held up to you by the Smoky Mirror god. The Coyote is holding you the light mirror and say, look at the beauty, look at what nobody else is seeing, look at the opportunity, look at the possibility, look at your life within a much bigger context, that this is what the prophecies of all of the indigenous peoples have been talking about. A time of tremendous upheaval and tremendous opportunity. And the Coyote is coming to tell us that you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. So be sure that you look in a very high way, so that you're not finding the ordinary, the usual, the commonplace, more of the same. So these are the archetypes that we work with, that the shamans work with. They have not been turned into the gods and goddesses. This is a process that occurs when religion happens. When you have religions appearing, they're taking the forces of nature and they're putting human faces on them. So the thunder becomes one deity, the lightning becomes another one, the wind, the god of the wind, the whisper of the wind. And you find this even when you go back to the Western Bible, the Abrahamic religions, which are the three principal religions today practiced in much of the world, you find that the very first commandment that the Western God has, the very first commandment is, thou shalt not put any other gods before me. It doesn't say don't have any other gods. It says that I am the big God. Do not put any other gods before me. And what happens with the Greeks and the Romans is that they begin to personify the gods. First with this whole pantheon of beings that you have in Greece, and then with Christianity, with all of the Madonnas and all of the saints, Judaism still remains pretty pure in that sense, following that commandment of not creating any graven images of God. But our nature as humans is to give faces so that we can relate to these forces that are so mysterious and so frightening and terrifying at times. I remember as a child saying the prayer that my grandmother taught me, which was that a prayer to God: if I shall die before I wake, I pray to the Lord my soul to take. And then I started wondering, well, why do I need to pray to the Lord to take my soul? Who else could be taking my soul? What soul trafficking mafia might be out there that might want to steal a child's soul? Got very worried about that for a long time. So this is human nature. Human nature, the ancient human brain, the Neanderthal limbic brain is by nature superstitious and needs to put faces so that we can interact, protect ourselves from, or try to bribe or seduce or cajole one of these divine faces, forces to intervene in our behalf. In Latin America and South America, when you go to a church, you find that Christ is in the main altar, but on the sides you have all of the saints. And the saints, for some reason, are more accessible. They're not far away like God is. God the Father is very, very far away, but the saint is right there. And you see that people pin to the robes of the saints, they pin little wishes that they want. They want health for their baby. They want to be able to buy a car. They want to not lose their home or their job. And they ask for divine intervention in their behalf. So what the shamans did was to intervene themselves directly. You intervene directly. You don't seek an intermediary, a legal representative that can advocate your cause in front of the divine. And you do that by pulling these images to see what the forces are and how you can serve them. How can I serve Coyote? How can I be in service to Coyote? This is the trickster. Everybody is terrified of Coyote because it's going to come and show you your most deeply hidden parts of yourself and say, hey, look at you. Look what's here. And then if you refuse to look at it, it's going to show it to everybody else around you. How can you be in service to this force that obviously is stalking me and perhaps you as well, because we pulled this card in the context of our meeting today? How can we be of service to this force which is showing us what is hidden? How do we accept that invitation to begin to explore what is hidden from view? What is so deeply buried that perhaps we have even forgotten about it? What childhood wish or desire or longing we held so dear to our hearts that we've forgotten about, that perhaps we need to retrieve and to recover? So in consulting the oracle, as medicine men and women, we want to dance with these forces and not be at the dance floor alone, trying to get out of an archetypal engagement that we didn't step into consciously. Because they're archetypal forces. Archetype, the word archetype was coined by Carl Jung, but it's using the same terminology of archaeology, of archaic. These are the ancient types and the ancient forces. The more familiar we become with them, the more that we can dance creatively with them. And now I'm going to ask for one card that we can take with us in these amazing times of opportunity that we're living in. So let's go back to the card deck. And this is our card, the Taming of the Wind. The Taming of the Wind. The wind is one of these great forces that blows us this way and blows us that way. And the taming of that force, that so that we can use it to propel us in the highest possible direction for our lives, to help us select the highest destiny, but also to give us the kind of propulsion to be a good tailwind so that it fills our sails and we have assistance in getting us to where it is that we wish to go. So I invite you to work with the oracle. The oracle is the putting into form those forces that medicine men and women have recognized forever as being the forces that inform and that create and that are nature. And they inform and create and shape our nature and our destiny. I invite you to learn the ways of the oracle and become your own oracle master. And be careful who reads your oracle, because most frequently they're tracking along the highest energy lines. They're tracking along the probability and not the possibility, which might be very improbable, but accessible to you. Thank you very much for being with me in Shaman's View. I look forward to seeing you next Friday, where we're going to be going more in depth into the 4 great archetypes of the shaman.